Among the thrills, I'm sure, were some of the doubts that you must have had at the beginning when it didn't take off into the wild blue yonder.
Well, that would be an understatement.
Wow. FedEx founder and CEO Fred Smith discussed the early days of his company on 60 Minutes with Morley Safer. That was 1983. Wow. 10 years after it began operations. FedEx had a fleet of 14 planes and shipped less than 200 packages on its first day. Well, today, guess how many packages it handles?
How many?
12 million packages a day, and it operates in 220 countries.
Fred Smith is still at the helm of FedEx more than 4 decades after its founding. He is a respected economic leader. He's met with President Trump during the White House transition. He joins us at the table. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your assessment of President Trump so far?
Well, I think President Trump is certainly a man of his word. He's checking off the boxes of the campaign promises. I think he obviously still is quite sensitive about the media relations, as he's done.
And question of legitimacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but then there's what's happened to trade. I mean, he clearly is on a mission to create jobs, and he believes the way you do that is either abandon trade agreements or renegotiate them. Is he right?
Well, I would urge him to rethink some of those positions, Charlie. The trade is what's made America great over the years. About 27% of our entire economy is related to trade, either imports or exports. The average American family benefits to the tune of about $13,000 in lower priced goods than would otherwise be the case.
You were on record as saying not abandon it, but improve it. What do you
Correct.
mean?
Well, we have a trade surplus, which is very important to the president, with the 20 countries we have free trade agreements with. And if you really net it down, the fundamental problem in trade today is Chinese protectionism, mercantilism, their industrial policy, which has kept our exports and our companies out of China while opening our markets to China.
So he's right in saying there's an unfair relationship with China.
Well, there certainly has been historically. I think to some degree the administration's positions are a little bit out of date with the reality of China today. They want to open their markets today. President Xi and the Premier have both said that over and over again. They just find it hard to do given the subsidies they provide their state-owned enterprises. But the secret of this, in my opinion, is to take the very able people on this trade team, Wilbur Ross, Robert Lighthizer, Professor Peter Navarro, and give them the mandate to open up trade with China, not walk away from it.
He's not going to stop at TPP on NAFTA. I mean, he is planning to sign an order to renegotiate NAFTA, which is the trade agreement signed during the Clinton team that largely deals with our North American partners. You've said that that could be catastrophic for the economy. How?
Well, when NAFTA was inked in 1994, we did about $400 billion worth of business between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. It's now $1.3 trillion. Millions of people make their jobs in trade with Mexico.
But when an American worker says, I feel like I've lost my job because of this trade, what's the response from a CEO?
Well, if you go to New Hampshire, you'll see all these beautiful abandoned textile mills that lost their jobs to South Carolinians making textiles in the 19th century. I mean, free market economies are a constant change where some people lose jobs and others gain them. The reality is the benefits of trade are diffused in lower products, better products. The pain of trade is always localized. So I think one of the real problems is that we let China for years engage in this mercantilism, and secondly, we didn't provide the trade assistance at the levels that they should have been.
Do you believe American business is too regulated and heavily over-regulated so that it is a limit on economic growth?
Sure, of course.
And so you're with the president when he wants to change that?
No question about it. So you have to have regulations, Federal Aviation Act.
Safety
all kinds
and
of
environmental
things.
regulations and emission standards?
Of course.
And how do you draw the line then between?
Well, therein is the problem. You know, bureaucracies tend to want to perpetuate themselves they get the benefits of regulation, and then they just keep going.
Do you worry about a coming competition with Amazon if they decide to get in your business?
No, Amazon is a retailer. They're a good customer of ours.
But they're increasing their shipping.
Drones.
They are, but they are increasing. And of course, I watched your famous drone show with Jeff and your interview with him not long ago,
Right.
where he made the point of their requirement to work with FedEx and UPS.
Right.
So let me give you a couple of factoids.
We only have time for one.
95%
One
of all
factoid an interview.
all the e-commerce in the United States is delivered by FedEx, UPS, and the Postal Service.
Right.
Fred
But he
Smith?
wants- Yep, go
Fred
ahead.
Smith, is Castaway your favorite movie? We were talking about that.
Well, I always told Tom Hanks I thought my 18 seconds in there sort of made his
There you
career.
go.
So I have to say that's one of my favorites.
But now your
Fred.
favorite is La La Land.
Yeah, my daughter's an executive producer of La La Land.
We'll root for them. The Oscar nominations are about to come out. Fred Smith, we thank you.